Hi, Cathie Hatrick-Anderson here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. What you're going to see here is me training horses off-farm, working with horses and their owners that I've never met before. So a lot of times I'm working with problem horses. They won't get on the trailer, they're aggressive, turn their butts to their owners, hard to catch, and a lot of times I have to come up here. And then I make it come down here and it's nice and pretty. The reason I have to start up here is because I don't want to get hurt, and many times horses have been lied to by their owners. They'll ask them to move and then don't insist. The horse might turn their rear end to them, and so I have to come off a little strong to begin with to keep myself safe. So I'm just pretty much speaking the horse's language, posturing. I might throw a kick at them, simulate a bite. Even if they're not aggressive, I just want them to know that I know how to communicate with them. Imagine if you went to a foreign country and you didn't understand the language. People are talking to you, you're trying to talk to them, and there's no communication. Pretty soon you'd get frustrated, angry, and you just stop trying to communicate because nobody's listening to you, nobody's understanding you. So imagine a good analogy that I like to give my clients is a bunny rabbit. If you've seen a bunny rabbit out in the field, and then all of a sudden that bunny rabbit took off and chased a predator, chased a coyote, you'd call somebody. You'd say, oh my God, that predator just ran after the coyote, and the coyote turned tail and ran away. So a lot of times you'll see horses moving people's feet, and that's not natural. In the horse-human relationship, a horse should never move a human's feet. We don't yield to them. So if you have an aggressive animal and you yield to them, that's telling him he's the boss. Even if your animal's not aggressive, he might be a sweetheart, but if you yield to his feet, then he can't trust you to keep him safe. Okay? So, habla español, ¿quieres algo para comer? ¿Quieres papas fritas, carnitas? ¿Quieres algo para tomar? Jugo de naranja, cerveza? It's too early for that. I don't speak Spanish, but I'm just trying to make a point. If I mutilated that language, I apologize. I learned a little bit in Southern California. But my point is, I wouldn't try to teach you in a foreign language. When I'm working with my clients, I'm speaking their language. I'm showing them, I'm demonstrating. A lot of times they still don't get it, and that's why I speak the horse's language at first. So some people get offended by that. The horses never do. When they throw a kick at another horse, hide's missing, hair's missing, and sometimes a lot worse. So I'm no match for them. They outweigh me at 1,000 pounds by at least 10 pounds. So that's why I do what I do to keep safe. I don't have days or weeks or months to bond with them. Sometimes people say, oh, you should take your time and bond with them. People are at their wits' end when they call me to travel out to their farm. So they need results. They need results right away, tangible results. And they need tools that they can put into practice and work with their animal, because many times it's, I can't keep them anymore, I'm going to get kicked out of my barn. Sometimes in extreme cases the horse is going to be put down if I don't fix it. So I'm not ashamed of what I'm doing. It's not, videos aren't edited like some other trainers will edit and show the good parts, or this is what you do if your horse won't do this. I'm actually working with horses on the spot, and when you see them on my channel, you know, it's already happened. I sometimes don't know what's going to happen, okay? And so that's why I do what I do. I thank you for watching. If you came to my channel to pick up a tip or two, if you don't like it, there's plenty other channels that you can go visit. And if you're a viewer, a new one or old one, I appreciate your viewership, and come back often, and happy trails. This was my first visit with this horse. You couldn't get on his offside to have him turn away from you. You could get over there if you went really slow, but to get him to turn, you couldn't. He bolts on the lunge. Yeah, he's a sweetie. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a good boy. I had then joined up with them. I'll make a different video of that. But this is his first day at my place after doing that. Good boy. That's a good boy, Clutch. I don't like it when horses are fearful. And, you know, he just got here today. He didn't know what we're doing. He's a bolter, from what I know. And just from when catching him in the stall, he's fearful. You got to go slow. But he's a sweetheart. So I don't like to drive horses a lot in a round pen. This one's 85 foot instead of 60, which would be really small for this guy. And but once I do that, we'll see when we do the next session. Clutch, come here. That's right. That he'll have that understanding, and he won't feel he has to run. You know, we need to cooperate. Good boy. Because he bolts under saddle from fear. You know, and once a horse trusts you, because he's a new horse to his owners, once they trust you, they're not going to want to run or take off. They'll be looking to you for the answers to the questions. So this is a huge brace when a horse won't drop his head, and you see the defeated look in his eyes on this session, and then you'll see at the end that he, you know, once he let that soak in, that he understood what I wanted. But here he just, you know, poor guy, you know, I'm trying to teach him a whole lot of things, get him to trust people. And when he drops release, so here the next day, so much better. Amazing even, and also a different look on his face, you know. He's looking less defeated and more cooperative. Doesn't like you getting over on that other side. But if you can get a horse to drop his head like this, you gain a lot, you know, because of it being a huge brace. Of course, that's not going to stop a horse from bolting. It's a whole lot of things, and just understanding that them knowing the answer to the question, which is if they feel pressure, give to it and don't run through it or brace. So here I'm doing a thing I call the gauntlet, and I'm going to go back to that first part that you saw and show you the whole video of the first time, but this is going forward, you know, maybe a few days after that. He's starting to understand, you know. I revisited this almost every time I worked him, which was 3 or 4 times a week, mostly an hour, some 2-hour sessions, because if it rained, I had to make up for it, because he is here for a month training, a month and an extra week. See, he jumped on the whip there. He's very fearful of the whip. And so here I got rid of the whip, but he's got to get used to it, and not be afraid of the tools, you know, and we're just building trust. And this move here, it helps you, if a horse goes to bolting, that you have something in place. You could pull his face and drive his hip to get a hold of him. So here is back to that little clip I showed you right before to show you this is the first day, how he totally didn't understand. You can draw 2 lines so you can see, you know, where the mark is you want the horse to go. I went and saw a Buck Brannaman clinic, but I was only able to stay 2 hours, and this little task is one of the things that I took away from it. And you know, this horse just doesn't have any idea what I'm asking. He's still looking for a way out. How can I get out of here? What is she doing? Oh my God. Just go that way, buddy. Don't go away, man. Just go away. Follow a feel. So when his head hits that line, pull his head, pull and release, and look at his hip. And then I'm going to step toward him because I want to go toward that gate. So every step of this is the horse yielding, giving the pressure. No, not that way. Go where I'm looking to the right, pointing to the right, twirling that. In a minute he tries, I stop that pressure. But again, here's his bolt. You know, I don't know the answer to the question. I'm going to run away. Look at his hip. And then I take my energy down. When he does the right thing, pick my energy back up, look where I want him to go, point first, and then twirl that. And he wants to run. So when you lunge a horse and he wants to take off running, this is like lunging him, you know, and the better he can do at this task by following the feel and, you know, just giving the pressure. You see he's afraid. He's afraid of life. He's afraid of me, afraid of whips, afraid of people, afraid of everything. And that's no place for a horse to be. So this is just like if you were going to lunge him left and right. If I was going to lunge him and he's like, well, what do you want? I need him to know, just go that way. And I don't like him turning in on the lunge. I want him to halt on my arc. But if they don't, then I am going to shut them down by pulling their face and driving their hip away. I'm not going to just try to hang on to a bolting horse and say, whoa, 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 as he just keeps on going, you know. So that way, if you teach us, pull the head and drive the hip away, the horse starts bolting, you can get him back in control. Of course, when you aim him at you, you want to make sure that you can back him up, too, when he faces, that he's not going to run over you. So again, this is just him, you know, probably, you know, a week after, just going through this again. See, he's a lot more relaxed. You know, he's still a little edgy, but a lot more relaxed. I don't have the rope halter on him. I'm not afraid he's gonna rip out of my hand now because I can look at his hip and get it to go away. Here is the very end of my first day teaching him to come over the mounting block. And he was out of his mind, probably took 10 minutes, and we'll show you how that was coming up in a bit. But this was the end of the first session, teaching him to come over to the mounting block, because I don't want them just to not move away. I want them to come over and pick me up and move their hip over toward me to help me get on, instead of what most horses do, which is throw their butt away. It's me, tired.
Yes, it's on now.
So this is, I don't know, could be the next day, but I am going to go back to what it took to get here in a moment so you can see. I want to be able to tap him and have him understand and bring this hip over. And with this horse, it's really hard because he sees that whip and he just thinks, oh my God, you're going to kill me. No, I'm just going to use it to, as they say, an extension of my arm. Can't reach all the way over there. I tap very lightly and I get louder taps as I go, but I start off soft. And now,
theory?
This is another day. You know, just working on this stuff for a few minutes each session. And then the horse just understands what's expected and doesn't go through all his tricks, excuse me, of avoiding the mounting block. You know, he should be able to stand. And he locks up. When I asked him to back up, he locked up. You know, he's got a lot to worry about. Me up there high from him, the ropes, whips. But eventually you see I don't have a whip here, you get to where the horse just understands, come up to pressure and bring your hip over without the whip. You know, at first I'm using the whip, and then I want to get rid of all the tools that I'm using at first. And here's when I got on him the other day. I have ridden him with his saddle. I've only ridden him, I want to say, about 4 times because he had so many fear issues. I don't put my leg over a horse that I have no communication with, or he wants to run away. His answer to everything is run, you know. Run first and ask questions later. That's what horses do, you know, until they trust us, then they're gonna look to us for comfort. So, and you know, once I get a good one rein stop on a horse, then I feel I can ride him anywhere. But I've only ridden him in the ring and walk and at his gait. He's a Tennessee walker, so he's gaited. And then here's how this is back to the very first time, just to show you how ugly it got. And so you can see, you know, how I got there is just I try to not move off this block and send the horse where I want him. And I like to be able to just put that whip on the wither and rub him, but this horse is just really fearful of the whip. You know, most of them are not that afraid of it, but he is. So it was harder than most horses teaching him because of his fear of the whip. And you can see here that, you know, when he's loose, he's actually better, even with no line. Just calm, and he'll let you tack him up and put that rope on the ground. And you know, it's the whips and any pressure just really scares this horse. Anyways, we're almost getting to the end here, and I took him out and did a lot of tasks out in the yard, and so, you know, that it wasn't just in the ring where he was getting used to, and he did a really good job outside. And I also did the gauntlet thing. I didn't put everything in this video because I have so much footage and it would be too long, but he did that outside very well. No trying to bolt because he knows the answer to the question. And so it's not an easy fix if you hung in there this long on how to stop a bolting horse. You got to get their trust, you got to get them to follow feel, you got to get them to listen to you. You know, most horses that bolt don't trust their riders. So groundwork is a way to establish that. Get that trust when that horse is looking to you and he doesn't want to run. So I've ridden him in a rope halter at first, and I've got the bitless on him here, and this is the first time I've asked him to drop his head with the contact, and sorry about the shakiness there, but when I first rode him, he was constantly pulling the reins out of my hand, and so I didn't even want to put pressure on that as much, but he quit doing it. The time before this when I rode him, he didn't do it once, and he's really understanding the one rein stops, which I don't have footage of, unfortunately, and so just doing well, stopping better, putting his head down more, and relaxed. It's bobbing up and down because I'm asking, holding pressure and releasing.